Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session's talk on in silico methods goes standards. And I know you were expecting, or maybe expecting my colleague Anna Perblies today, but I will be taking over, actually. And who am I? My name is Ulrike Schröder, with a background in biomedical technologies. I am a project manager at Edem, the German Institute of Standardization, located in Berlin. Both Anna and me are responsible for different standardization activities in the medical field, as well as active in different research projects. And while I cover, for example, projects in the field of digital pathology and AI, Anna is a partner in the European research project in Silico World. And today I would like to talk about this project and the benefits that can be achieved by involving standardization in research and innovation projects on Anna's behalf. But before we dive into this topic, I would actually like a brief moment to address the question what standards actually are. So standards in general are agreed technical specifications of voluntary use. They are based on consolidated results of science, technology, and experience. They can cover units, terminologies, methodologies, test methods, best practices, materials, products, you name it, processes, services, management systems. Most people are aware of standards, for example, building materials, for paper size, for IT security, ISO containers, and of course, quality management. But of course, standards are basically everywhere. They make life easier, safer, and healthier for both consumers, businesses, and for the society as a whole. And today, within this presentation, I will give a short overview of the overall standardization landscape. That means, a brief introduction of DIN and standardization in general. I will then go on to say a few words about the research project in Silico World, and we'll finish my talk with an overview of how standardization can support and will support this project. So what is DIN and what does DIN offer? DIN is a private organization and a neutral platform for standardization in Germany and worldwide. There are more than 35,000 experts from industry, research, consumer protection, and the public sector that bring together their expertise. And that is done in 69 committees, that work on the different topics ranging from acoustics to water management, with an overall staff of over 500 people and more than 3,000 members. So, and what do we offer? We offer consultation services regarding standards and standardization. We bring together different interest groups into a constructive dialogue and into a dialogue in general. We draw up and revise standards and technical rules in collaboration with all the experts, and are also responsible for the editing and the layout of the standards and technical rules. And we, of course, offer a great network and help with acquiring partners and experts. So why is DIN relevant internationally as a national standardization organization? Well, one reason, there are 85% of all standards at DIN are actually based on European and international standards. So DIN is 1 building block within the whole worldwide house of standardization. So there are about 162 national standard organizations at ISO, which is the International Standardization Organization, that all influence the international standardization. DIN is a member here and holds some secretariats, as well as a member within CEN, the European Organization for Standardization, that holds 34 members. Within the medical device sector, there are altogether over currently 18 active CEN and CENELEC committees on medical devices within Europe. Out of those, 8 is managed by DIN, or actively managed by DEAN. Internationally, there are a total of 15 committees dedicated to this topic, and here too, DEAN manages 5 secretariats. And yeah, in all the places where we don't do that, we are still involved a lot of times. For example, by holding the secretariat of certain subcommittees or of working groups. Today, however, I am here for a particular reason, and I don't just want to draw your attention to standardization in general, but also inform you about this in Silico World project that we are involved in. So, in Silico World is a project funded within the Horizon 2020 framework that has the goal to promote the adoption and modeling and the adoption of modeling and simulation technologies used for the medical device development and regulatory assessment by addressing 7 identified barriers. And those barriers are development, validation, accreditation, optimization, exploitation, as well as information and training. In general, when looking at the mission and the vision of this project, in general, the project aims to create a wider adoption and broader application of in silico testing in the biomedical industry. The mission is to lower the barriers to a universal adoption of in silico trials, and with a vision to create a future where medical products, thanks to the use of modeling and simulation, are developed much faster and with the highest possible safety standards. Yeah, but who's actually a partner within this project and currently working on implementing this vision and the mission. The consortium is made up of a whole range of world-class leaders in technological research, clinical research, and industrial innovation in the field of in silico trials from 6 European countries. So Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium, Hungary, Poland, and Germany. They count on a total of more than 100 professionals from 17 partner institutions, including universities, companies, research hospitals, an international research center, a non-governmental organization, and with DEAN, a standardization body. When looking in general, we have this highly innovative project here in this highly innovative field here. It's of course, good to know how a standardization organization can actually work with this. So, and we have a couple of different ways we can do that. First of all, it's the screening of existing standards. So we have, of course, access to all the databases and libraries, etc. And so by screening the existing standards on national, European, international level, the project or the consortium is able to access the knowledge and resources on the topic they're working on. And this may include European standards over various industries. A second option is the joining of an existing standardization community. As pointed out earlier, we have a number of different so-called technical committees and the according working groups where we are involved in. And so with a standardization organization within the consortium, this allows to build a network to exchange the ideas and perspectives on the ongoing work and also access this relevant information. Third option, and now it's getting into more the real working on the standards, is, for example, the revision of existing standards or also the development of new ones. So it may be possible then through the first steps that have been done that there's a need or a gap identified to revise an existing standard or develop a new one. And this will be done following the processes set by the standard organizations and, of course, help for the according standardization body. And last, but definitely not least, would be a fast track to new standardization. This can be done through so-called workshop agreements, which are specific documents designed for research and innovation projects that may form later on the basis for new standards. And in general, a regular standard is developed within 36 to 48 months, while for workshop agreement, the drafting time is about 6 to 12 months, which fits perfectly into the maybe short time of a project. And of course, it doesn't mean that the standardization work has to stop here. This could always be a basis for later on developing a full standard or integrating the findings into an existing one. So that on the general side, but now when we look in how standardization can support the in silico world idea, the answer is there by searching for or developing technical standards for the model's credibility. A horizontal issue relevant for all types of medical products is which technical standard should be used to qualify the credibility of in silico trial solutions in Europe and for products other than medical devices. So within the project, Dean will lead an exploratory activity toward the other standardization bodies, potentially involved, which is SEN and ISO, as well as toward EMA and at least one notified body. And by the expert input of partners, the technical expertise required in the discussion will be provided. I guess most of you are aware of the ASME BV40 2018. And one point of the work within this project will be to clarify and decide for the time being if it is sufficient to use this American standard also in Europe, or if additional standardization activities are necessary. And furthermore, Dean will also lead the compilation of guidelines that will be produced by the In Silico World Consortium. And this guideline is to help companies active in this field to choose the best qualification pathway. And one of the last points I would like to point out are then the benefits of standardization. And here, by working together on standards, it is enabled to have an easier communication between different stakeholders, and of course, improve the understanding between different parties and each other's problems. Standards are always documents that have been created by consensus, and this broad participation of different stakeholders always leads to a broad acceptance, or is supposed to lead to a broad acceptance of the document. And another important point is that a uniform definition of the state of the art also creates trust. But standards, of course, they not only create trust, they also facilitate international trade. And here in this illustration, we have, in an overdrawn way, of course, the different requirements that unfortunately result in a trade barrier for this little truck coming in here. So now, so after all participants have found a common language and set some common requirements, they ensure that there's a compatibility, interoperability of components, products, and services. And so in the end, our little truck here has its way to go, and thus we can bring benefits to businesses and consumers in terms of reducing cost, enhancing performance, and improving safety. And what is also always important to mention is that standards also support the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN 2030 agenda by implementing the sustainable use of resources and energy while protecting consumers, workers, and the environment. So, if I was able on Anna's behalf to catch your interest, and if you want to know more about the In Silico project, please feel free to contact us anytime. And if you're interested in more information on this project, you can find that on the according website. And all in all, I think how we can support it is one thing, but in the end, it is important that we together grow this central role of in silico medicine. And with this, I'm at the end of my presentation for today. I thank you very much for your attention and looking forward to great further presentations today. Thank you.